Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Oh, let me tell you, it's been a week. Well, I should say it's been 2 weeks. Stupid light. And yeah, I don't know. We're here. Just been, you know, going. It's been my slowest time I've had in quite a while the last couple weeks, and it's just, you know, small business things, little guy things. Like, I know it's part of the waves of business, and it's just terrifying. So I've just been pretty down on myself because of that. Haven't wanted to film nothing, haven't wanted to do nothing. So in the meantime, I've just been trying to, you know, scavenge up work. I've been posting, I've been trying to do local stuff, like more local listings, you know, whatever I could. But, you know, it is what it is. It'll come. I'm just being a little paranoid about it because we leave for Tail the Dragon in a couple of weeks. And, you know, I'm just trying to make sure I have enough money to get there and home. So in the meantime, I'm trying to sell my Ranger. I don't use it enough right now anyway. Like, I do daily it, but, you know, I can drive the S or the E36. It's not a big deal because this truck isn't doing what I need it to do anyway. I need something bigger if I need a truck. So I'm just trying to sell this, pocket some money. I'm also selling my spare K24 and my 5-speed that I have at the house that's been sitting in my stand for like 2 years. So hopefully have a guy coming later this evening to you know, check that out. And then, you know, I've also got some cats I got to try and recycle. So just trying to basically, you know, get any money quickly where I can with, you know, liquidizing my assets type thing. So it's just stressful, but I'm sure we'll make it through the slow time. You know, starting to get some more work. I got a guy coming today about midday with a 2016 Nissan Titan that wants a hood dump, so we got to look at that. But anyway, that's not what this video is. Well, I guess this video is just going to be kind of, we're just vlogging, we're hanging out. So obviously we're on the GoPro today, if you couldn't tell. I'm enjoying using this thing, and judging by the last video, the Saturdays for the Boys video, a lot of you guys like the quality and the microphone and everything on this one over my normal camera. Which the other camera has great quality, but you have to have the right lenses. You know, it's more particular about the right light. You know, my microphone on that one's directional, not omnidirectional like this one. This one will pick it up from front and back, but whatever. You know, nerd mumbo jumbo type stuff. But anyways, this is what I'm finishing up right now. So this is a 2014, I believe, 2015 Scion FRS, GT86, BRZ, whatever you want to call it. So essentially what this thing came in for initially was he had hit me up because he was needing a weld repair. Now, it wasn't a normal weld repair. It was something a little unusual that I've seen. So I ended up not being able to repair it because the damage was too extensive. But essentially what had happened is this is a timing cover. Now, if you know anything about these FA20 engines that have been in these, you know, these boxers that are in this FRSs and stuff, they have a tendency to leak on the timing cover, which is this whole area up here, and especially down in the lower portion. And it's just, you know, kind of crappy how, you know, why they do it, but it's just, they use a whole buttload of silicone and it doesn't really seal that well from the factory, from what I've read on at least. And it's just, you know, things happen. You know, the cars get hot, you know, heat cycling wears it out. So essentially, I'm sorry, jumping out of space here. So he went to pull the timing cover off to change it because he had initially found a leak there and he had a crack on the oil filter neck, which is up on the top corner of it. And then he went to pry it off, forgot like 2 bolts we found, and then he had accidentally cracked the end, which is like a backing plate, but it's also the end cam cap for the passenger cylinder head. So thankfully we were able to source a new, you know, new cam cap that was good from the dealer, because the weld repair, the crack went like all the way down, all the way through on both sides. It was literally hanging on by a thread, so it didn't feel safe doing that. So in the meantime, I had my buddy Michael and Alex at Innovative Automotive up the street. I contracted them to help me with the mechanical work. That way they could get paid, I could get paid, and I could take on the full job. Because, you know, I'm decently mechanically inclined, but they are, you know, you gotta, you know, share the work. There's plenty of it type thing. So in the meantime, the kid was really, really cool. He was like, you know what, make it worth your time. Why don't you build me an overpipe? And I want a bash bar too. So he even wanted a beefy bash bar. So we did this beautiful 2-row. So, you know, you got your secondary support tubes here, attachment tubes to the top to the bottom bar there. Got our primary supports up there. And then obviously this is an HKS supercharger kit, as you can see. So it was all intended for the factory crash bar. So it all had to be modified, built all new brackets, spent all day yesterday, you know, building tabs like that for that guy. And then, you know, got tabs down here, got a tab over there. had to modify the oil line, so that's all good. And we already did the test fire car runs, but there is a small oil leak right now on the sandwich plate up top out of this weird little threaded fitting, because it is a used kit, so I'd imagine somebody probably put Teflon on there before and it has since, you know, worn out. So I'm gonna pull it really quick, Honda bond it since it's early. I came down here, it is 8:30, normally I get here around 9 or so, and give that extra time to cure because he's trying to pick this thing up today. But yeah, we got the overpipe built, first time ever doing that on a Subaru, because we found out you really can't build it to the car for crap, so I had to fixture the stock one and then build this one off the fixture, which was very difficult for me, you know, but great learning curve. And then yeah, just gotta put the, you know, under tray back on, and that's more or less it. I don't know if I'm gonna be putting all this stuff on because there's not enough hardware for it, but yeah, no, it's coming out great. Oh, and I also had to modify the charge piping because the factory crash bar is obviously much less beefy. So this side was hitting everywhere, and now it's, you know, snaking in there nice. But yeah, big job. Thankful to have had the help on it on the mechanical side, and I'm very proud of the fat work side. And he's even gonna let us, once I can find a titanium mass airflow flange, he's gonna let me build him a titanium intake as well. Very, very cool kid. So anyways, I'm gonna pull this, you know, plug out really quick. I'll show you which one, and then Honda bond that, eat some breakfast, and wait for it to cure. So this is where I'm talking about. Now, it's probably gonna be hard to see on the GoPro, but there's a little Allen key stud bolt thing right here. So I gotta pull that out because that's what's leaking. And then back here, this one has a slight leak. This is a thermostatic oil filter, you know, sandwich plate. And I don't know if there's supposed to be a crush washer on here. Again, this was primarily assembled, and we just kind of had to finish piecing it all together. So I'm gonna pull this out really quick, and again, I don't know, I'm gonna try and put a crush washer on it, but my main point is right here. Take that guy out, just put some Honda bond on it and put it back in, and we should be good from there. But yeah, it's looking pretty sweet. But man, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna rinse this thing out because I want to get good photos of the engine bay. So I'm gonna, yeah, kind of clean his bay a little, well, clean it a little bit, just hose it out more than anything, get photos while it's wet type thing. But yeah, he'll be here in a few hours with some more ethanol because this thing is E85 and it's still on a base map. So let him do all that other stuff. I just got it to the point where it can run, and it will get him, you know, home. All right, I know you guys are a little sideways, but that's the tripod thing that this camera came on. So this is what I was talking about, just this little guy. So we're just gonna dab a teensy bit of ultra gray on here, spread it around. I had Honda bond, but apparently we used it all on the timing cover on this guy. Alright, hopefully that's enough. What's crazy is I posted up my engine, and I listed the transmission with the engine like at the bottom of the post, not even including photos and not even a separate post yet. I was going to do that later today. And I already have people blowing me up. You know, typical Honda guy stuff. Had some dude offering me like some really crappily spray painted Rotas with shitty all-season tires for a trade for the engine, and you know, but I got a couple guys that, you know, want to come look at it today. But I was just surprised at how quickly, you know, that these things are getting sold, because like I've been sitting on the truck for like a week and a half now, and I've had a bunch of flakes. Had people come look at it and say they would come back the next day because I needed to open the title, and then like still getting flaked on. But like these Honda engines, I mean, it's been a minute since I've done any swaps, so I haven't needed to buy anything, but they go quick apparently. So all right, that should be good. Nice to Honda bond it up, so let's give it some cure time, and we'll come back and hopefully she doesn't leak. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't have much idea how this all goes together. This under tray stuff, I mean, I'm figuring it out, but there's just, you know, a lot of little screws and bolts. So I got the back one right here all done up. We're working on putting this one back up. That thing, I can't figure that one out. I feel like this thing is broken and he just had it and brought it because he had it, because I tried lining it up and nowhere does it make sense. I feel like it's supposed to go along the front here, which is not gonna fit now anyway because like the intercooler and stuff, and like, I don't know. So I'm just leaving that thing off. I don't know what these are either. So those are, you know, probably just gonna have to stay off for now because his wheel wells are all torn up. So it's not like those are wheel well things. You know, he's got a bunch of mess of a wire. I cleaned all this up. It was all dangling before, so I know it's nothing related to that. So in the meantime, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where all these doohickeys go. So he did bring me, you know, bolts at least, but kind of, sort of, everything's, you know, mix matched in here. That looks like, you know, one of the right ones. It's weird because these are all like 12 mil heads on the front here. So this one's just too long, so I just put that there as a placeholder. But yeah, no, we're almost good here. So it turns out on that oil cooler thing, on the bolt, it's an O-ring. So I put a new O-ring on it. Hopefully it seals, but I'm still gonna let it cure for like another hour or so until that Honda Bond's dried up. In the meantime, I just found someone on Facebook to hopefully get these cats. I'm just waiting on prices right now for the rest of them. Basically, whatever money I make back off those cats is just going towards supporting the Dragon trip. Making sure I can, you know, again, get there back. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys. I got new tires for the trip. So these are some hand-cooked Ventus RS4s. I've heard really good things about these. Not so much in the super grippy sense. They're supposed to be a 200 tread wear, but they apparently don't grip like a 200 tread wear, you know, on track. Like, they're still good. They're just not as efficient, but they're supposed to last quite a long time and have really thick tread, like really, you know, good driving stability and stuff. And I thought it was cool. They actually came pre-installed with these like tire stickers. So I wanted a name brand tire that was gonna get me to the Dragon and back safely and hopefully, you know, not burn out, because I didn't want it to do like all seasons, because I wanted to be able to enjoy the Dragon. You know, you got a sports car, tail the Dragon, twisty road, you need some good tires. So I got the happy medium. These were a little pricey for what I spend on tires normally. I like the Japanese European drift tires. They're just sticky and you don't get a lot of life out of them, but they're great. But yeah, these things, they should hopefully last me a while. I've got a buddy that's had them, you know, for like 2 years, couple track days, lots of miles, lots of toge sessions, and he still has life on them. So I need them to last me at least 4,000 miles and we should be good. But I'm gonna go ahead, keep figuring the under tray out, and yeah, we'll move on. Just being a nice guy, giving him a good rinse out, because I usually try to do stuff like this for all my customers in some way, especially if they've left a vehicle with me as like a, you know, like a thank you type thing. So not giving them a full detail, I don't have my stuff here, but just a good rinse out, because also it just looks good for me when I go to take after photos of all the work here, because everything's all clean. So obviously I got bags on the air filter, the oil assembly, and the alternator, and just giving everything a good dusting more than anything. So obviously don't want to drench it. Had to water down the piss out of this degreaser because I'm like out of it. All right, now while it's still wet, I'll grab some photos. Alrighty. Why does that stock Civic sound like that? Whatever. All right, always gonna do portrait mode because you need that blur. So we're gonna do it horizontally. I know you guys can't really see it, but take my word for it. There we go. Something like that. Same but different. I do, which one are you guys looking for?
Either. We're looking for both of you guys.
JBtuned guys were just out doing some marketing and just, you know, giving out free little sandwiches just as a reminder, you know, that they do deliveries. So that's cool. Now I got a little snack. But yep, nope, car is good to go. I'm gonna text the guy right now saying that, you know, he's ready to come by, or he's good to come by with the ethanol and whatever else he needed to bring. I do have to slap the side skirts on. That's just, you know, 3 screws on each side. He made it super simple. Hot take.
Oh, that looks cool. That looks really cool.
Oh, because you weren't here yesterday. So I finished I had to modify this charge pipe, that charge pipe, and obviously make new brackets for everything.
Yeah, this looks cool. Like all the back grids and all that stuff, like the way it's mounted.
Yeah, so. But yeah, it runs. I mean, we could fire it up right now. Yeah, take it easy.
Good luck with everything.
Appreciate it.
You too, thank you.
Yeah, no, we fired it up yesterday. It was leaking from this silly little port right there, that O-ring or that
oh, the little O-ring.
The little, yeah, the bolt, yeah. And then this was leaking, so this had a torn O-ring. I just changed that. Hopefully it's the right size one. I put Honda Bond on that, so I was just been letting it cure. That was what I did the first thing this morning. So just rinse it off so I could, you know, make it a little bit more presentable.
Yeah, it looks
get
good.
Some photos, but
have you sent him a picture?
Yeah, no, not with it all cleaned up and stuff or
okay.
put together, because his harness was like hanging down, so I zip tied that all up, and I just put the under trace back on. So yeah, I mean the bumper, I don't think it bolts on since it was exploded, but it's cool because when the bumper's on, if you can't see it because, you know, you're up here, but when you're down here like squatting for looking at that, my badge sticks out right beneath the bumper line right there.
Yeah, you can just see it.
Yeah, in the grill, so it looks super sick. But
dope.
Yeah, I think he should be really stoked. I mean, I put a little bit more effort than probably should have per se for the price for the parts that I gave him, but I really wanted to impress this kid, not because he's like, you know, quote unquote important, but he's just one of those kids that seems like he has some really good connections. So I like to put my best foot forward with people like that. I mean, I try to do my best job anyway, but you never know who's watching. And this kid was just really cool. I mean, he didn't have to have me do all the extra work, but, you know, he was just like, you know, go for it. I talked him into doing the titanium intake. Like I said, once I can find that piece, he's like, oh, yeah, if I can go for it. So, really cool guy. You know, it looks out for people. So, yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, put side skirts on. All right. It's been a few hours, about almost 4 hours now, so we're gonna test fire it up, see if she's leaking. Let her idle for a minute, see what happens. It's looking pretty good so far. We'll let it chill for a minute. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Appreciate you. Later. Heck yeah. All right, come with me to go look at a new shop for like the 7th time. I haven't filmed any of them because I never had my camera with me, but this one's not too far away. This one's only like a couple miles away, but I got hopes. Not really, but I found at this point, the less standards I keep for myself, the less I'm disappointed, because this has just been a nightmare trying to find new shop space. So I'm out of water though, so I'm gonna go stock my Circle K because I am so dehydrated right now. So yeah, once we get over there, I'll show you guys. All right, so I just left the shop. I was gonna film, but there was the current owner. His name's Danny. He's an old gentleman. I didn't know he was gonna be there. I thought it was just gonna be us and the landlord, so I didn't feel comfortable filming with him there because he's still got his stuff in there. So the area itself isn't a bad part. He did say that it's a lower income part of town, so his clientele is primarily, you know, the guys just trying to keep their cars on the road. Not that that much applies to me doing the fab work, because that's not going to be so much my clientele. But, you know, presentation is everything, and this area, the shop, like, there's 3 mechanic shops in the, you know, in the alleyway per se is what we'll call it, the drive. The first shop, very professional and clean looking. You know, they got 4 bays, clean floors, you know, all their equipment lined up. And then the 2 units after that are, you know, owned by some other guys, and it just looks run down. They're taking up 3/4 of the parking lot. Even the guy Danny, his spots are taken up by these guys. They got old engines, you know, pissing gas and oil all over the parking lot. It smells like a junkyard in the sense of old fuel. It's just a very dirty area, and then the unit itself was pretty destroyed dirtiness wise. Like, he said the landlord's gonna have their guy come in, pressure wash it, paint the walls and stuff, but I don't know. Like, I know beggars can't be choosers, especially this late into the game of us trying to shop hunt, but like, dang, I kind of hope we don't choose this one or get stuck with this one, because I can tell, just because he said the guys are kind of being a pain about the parking, the guy next to him that's taking up all the spots. So I just don't know. It's a bad look on the business more than anything. And my you know, the guys, Mike and Alex, that are going to go in with me, they're kind of in agreement that unless the landlord kind of, you know, changes things like he says he's supposed to be, it's a little too grungy, and we're afraid of losing our primary clientele that we've already started building, which is, you know, not bottom middle class type people. We're, you know, upper middle class per se. The better paying jobs, the ones where, you know, they don't have $100 to get them by till the end of the week. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not the clientele I'm trying to service. I'm trying to be profitable. So it's, I don't know, you know, pray on it, take it with a grain of salt. And anyway, I'm gonna go get some lunch really quick, go back to the shop, load up the truck back in the shop, and probably wrap it up for the day, because my job here is more or less done. So yeah, I don't know, the video is kind of all over the place doing whatever, but we're just having some fun, just getting some work done. Thankfully, I think we had work to do, but yeah, let's go. All right guys, just ending the video out here. I totally forgot to do this. It's been a couple days now. So after that last clip driving the S2000, I went to, you know, get my wheels and tires, or my tires mounted on my wheels the other day. Dropped them off, was doing an inspection on my car at my shop, just getting ready for the drag and, you know, looking over what I need to change beforehand. Found that I had a cracked rotor, whatever, Efren had some blanks, threw those on, and then my calipers decided to strip for no reason. Pulled all the threads out, not enough metal to retap. I don't really feel comfortable drilling them out. So in the meantime, I just needed something. And unfortunately, S2000 stuff is not cheap, nor is it, you know, readily available half the time. So thankfully, one of my track buddies happens to do some wholesaling, and he was able to get me a hookup on some new brakes. So be looking forward to that, you know, brake install on the S2000. But just some bad news. But thankfully, you know, the Ranger sold in the last couple days from, you know, these last few clips. I just sold my spare Kid 24 and the 5-speed with it, and then I also recycled the cat. So thankfully, you know, I had the money to be able to get some brakes and stuff and offset, you know, this mishap. But stuff happens. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go figure out what to do for the day, and we'll see you in the next one. So do what you love, forget about the rest, and take it easy. Peace out.